things that I'm kind of fucking up on, but
Are
that's
you
okay.
using OBS Live?
We are using OBS Live.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, first time for a few things, so, we're going to be fucking up on a couple things. Like, one major thing that I'm already kind of fucking up on besides the camera is the audio. We're only using one Yeti mic because I tried using two and it was working a little bit ago, but then it wasn't working. So, now we're just going to use one Yeti mic, and, hopefully the sound quality isn't that bad, and hopefully we'll have that fixed for our next episode.
Well,
but,
you know what? I personally, in my world, there's actually a limit to how many mics a person's allowed to own. So we've never been able to do the podcast with more than one mic before in my world.
Well, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, so...
The reason being because the Earth was invaded by beings of sound, and matter was kind of irrelevant to them, but whenever we started recording sound, it kind of screwed with things, so they limited that.
That sounds too interesting to be on our podcast.
Uh,
but yeah, so...
That's why you brought me and not that world.
Indeed. Actually, I should check one quick thing real quick, because I am now just realizing, do I even have the right Yeti mic on all three of ours? So I'm going to make one quick change to make sure, and I think it's all working out, because, yeah, it says on the audio mixer everything's going fine, so we should be good. Let me lower the volume on that. Actually, just mute it straight up because we don't need it on. Okay, cool. Now we'll get started. Let me get the smaller topics out of the way first, because we have a lot of topics today. There's even one that I didn't have time to put in the description yet, but you wanted to bring up Frozen?
Oh yeah, I saw Frozen 2. Brought my sister, went to see Frozen 2. Because I'm a huge fan of Frozen 1.
Mm-hmm.
I've always really liked Frozen 1. Frozen 2 was alright. Sadly, I didn't feel strongly enough about it to really do a... But it's good.
Good.
But that's all it is good.
It's good, nothing amazing.
It doesn't match the first one in terms of quality. It has a really cringy joke song that goes way too long for me to consider a real joke, even though it clearly is. And I swear to God, in 10 years, people won't know it's a joke because, well, by then, media will be dominated by whatever comes after millennials and Zoomers. It's going to be really sad. This is not going to hold up the time as well as the first one. Highlights, Elsa songs.
Okay. I mean, I figure if you have the same singer, I figure they're going to sound amazing.
Yeah.
But question then. Two questions actually about it. One of them, does it finally confirm the Tarzan theory?
It continues not to confirm the Tarzan theory, which, by the way, was confirmed by the original director. So Frozen 1's director directly confirmed that the Anna and Elsa's parents from Frozen, whose ship gets wrecked in the Southern Sea, is Tarzan's parent. They are Tarzan's parents. They're all from the same family. Then a producer for the show decided to say he didn't like that and said, "No, that's not canon. Shut up." And I have continued not to care about that producer ever since.
I fans come up with theories. God.
Well, it's not even just fans. The director,
too.
director directly confirmed that's why he put certain things in the movie. It was a direct nod and a direct reference. So fan theories were correct, not just fan theories were cool and then made right. They were always right. So fuck that producer. This continues to skirt that line though and make that producer happy and not directly confirm it again. They don't directly address it all. In fact, they almost seem to negatively address it. Light spoiler, there's something with the ship their parents drowned in, or was lost at sea in the movie. Nothing direct, but it indirectly wants to deny that, even though it's still clearly that they're not directly denying that.
Not going about it one way or another. My second question about the movie is, I've heard this movie feels less like a sequel to Frozen and more like a D&D adventure. What would you say to that?
That's what I was looking forward to. I really wish that were true. It doesn't. It feels like a sequel to Frozen that may have at once been inspired by a D&D adventure, but then got edited so much in the editing room with so many songs added to it that it makes the first one look like a punk. It's very much a sequel to Frozen.
Okay.
And not much of an adventure.
Cool. All right. So I guess that's our first quickie of the day. Next, two quickies actually. I'm gonna kind of get them together side by side because they are both DC related. So my next quickie, the next two quickies. First one, I actually brought all three of these up to you last night, but I kind of want to go over them with you again real quick because I think they're all kind of interesting. So for the first one, Stargirl, which was a show, which is a show that's been in development for a little while, is now finally got its. Not only does it have a release date finally, but it's also interesting the way they're releasing it. So originally this was supposed to be a DC Universe TV show, but recently they've changed that. So now it's going to premiere on the DC Universe as planned, but then the next day it's going to go to the CW. And as I found out, this isn't the only show that's doing that. We also know something similar like this is happening with Doom Patrol, because that show is going to be on both DC Universe and HBO Max.
You think that means it's going to get additional funding?
That's a good question. I don't know. I think it'll just be kind of the same. I don't think it'll be more or less. But yeah, so for Doom Patrol, it's going to be on both HBO Max and the DC Universe website. And then they're also doing the...
Because they're transitioning to HBO Max and deleting the DC Universe website.
It's possible. But then the other weird thing is that they're also going to have Batwoman be on both the CW and HBO Max as well.
Because they're trying to get everything on HBO.
I mean, possibly, but it's just like interesting. So you have like all these different shows platforming into different networks. So it kind of makes me wonder with Stargirl and Batwoman specifically. It would be interesting to me if they premiere when Stargirl, for example, premieres on DC Universe website. Starts out with the TVMA rating, and I think the episodes have been confirmed to be like a little over 50 minutes. Mm-hmm. But then the next day it premieres on the CW with a kind of edited down to 40 minutes, and then a cut version of it that isn't as violent or less language. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's what they're planning on doing with it, but to me that would make a lot of sense. What do you think?
I think that sounds stupid. I think it sounds dumb. I'm the guy who refuses to ever again watch the theatrical edition of Lord of the Rings because I own every version of the extended version up to and including the Special Collector's Blu-ray Super Extended Edition. I hate the idea of cutting content almost ever, especially when complete though. Mm-hmm. So I'm the type of guy who wishes 3-hour movies made a significant return to theaters.
Do you think though that's what they're going with this format? If they're going to premiere it on DC Universe,
yeah, obviously they're premiering DC Universe and then cutting it down to size
we don't know.
At all.
Yeah,
they're using that cut down to edit out probably all of the extra violence and much of the language. Mm-hmm. Much of the language is probably just going to be edited out, like they're going to replace words and match lip syncs. But I suspect the CW version will have a significant lack of action scenes compared to the streamed version.
It's possible. But they are going to have this, then instead of tying into the Titans universe, like I think that was their original plan. It was either that or it was just going to be standalone. They are going to now... It would make
sense for it to have tied into the Titans. That sounds like something that they would have done.
They now are planning to tie it into the Arrowverse and have the premiere of it, or her first appearance be in Crisis, basically, which makes sense. If it's going to be on the CW, might as well.
I think we're going to see a lot of people's first appearance in the shared universe come from there.
That's true. Then other DC quickie that I'm excited for is, so a lot of conversations have been going on about Kevin Conroy's Batman, specifically which version of Batman he'd be playing, and theories ranged from he's going to be a future version of Batman on Earth 1, or he's going to be you messed with my camera, bro. I should be fine on that position. Yeah, I just keep it there. But anyways, so
you look ugly anyways.
I know. But anyway, so and then so we'll range from future Earth 1 version of Batman, or maybe he's going to be the actual DC animated universe version of Batman, but brought to live action.
Which would still be my favorite.
That would be amazing. Or maybe he'll just be another random character from another random universe, not tying in anything. Well, we might have gotten confirmation based on this specific picture right here that he is possibly going to be the Kingdom Come version of Batman. And it made me feel stupid. It made me realize, wow, the answer was
been obvious.
That should have been the
Kingdom
first
Come
guess.
Soups. It makes sense. We'd have Kingdom Come bats with all the bats we have.
It's such an obvious thing because if we have Superman, Kingdom Come, of course we're going to have Batman. How did we not think of that first? A
really, really obvious in hindsight thing.
But I don't know. I think this is one of the coolest choices they could have done. So I'm really excited.
I agree for the most part. The only thing I probably would have liked, with any significance better, is if they olded him up a little bit and made him the DC
animated universe version. That would have been awesome. I think that'll be kind of cool to see. Let me quickly check here. So do you have any quickie news by any chance before we move on to ones that might actually have conversations?
Quickie that'll tie into future content, apparently. I finished Fallen Order, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and it was very good.
Cool.
Ended stronger than it began, which is rare for most games.
Yeah. That's good. And are you planning on doing a review for it later on?
I do, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll have a bunch of random gameplay, and I'll do an audio review, and that'll be
cool.
It'll be interesting. It'll be my first toe dip into that.
Awesome.
For a while.
Hopefully we'll do stuff like that more in the future. Speaking of which, later tonight I will definitely have up the Mandalorian review for episode 3.
Very good, very good.
Yeah, so you guys look forward to that later tonight.
Speaking of Mandalorian episode 3.
Yeah, this will tie us into our next topic. So, let me see. I can't remember if I got a picture of it. I kind of did, but I'll wait till I show it real quick. Because we actually have gotten news that... So, let me find her name. Here it is. Deborah Chow. She directed last night's episode of The Mandalorian, which, to my opinion...
I love you now. Thank you.
To my opinion... is probably the best episode we've gotten so far. I'll explain more about why, in my review later today.
I would slightly disagree and say it's probably a tiny bit better than 2, but 1 is the most perfect thing I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
This almost matches that. And it's still perfect.
Yeah.
There aren't flaws with these. There are no significant flaws in any of these episodes, which is ridiculous. But this was especially strong. I love episode 2. Episode 2 is perfect. This was stronger in episode 2 somehow.
I think one thing the show has going for it is that with the writers, they don't have to write episodes with knowing that they have to take up exactly 44 minutes or exactly this amount of time. They're allowed to write until their story is done, and then they direct around that. So the episode's lengths are going to range, because we had our first episode, which was 35 minutes, but then the next episode was 28 minutes. This one was 39 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Those numbers are probably completely off, but I just remember
But the point is that they're varying in length, but by a pretty significant margin if you consider how much 10 minutes is to a 30-minute show.
Yeah.
That's a pretty significant margin.
But with this director specifically, what's so cool is, so she's going to be directing one more episode of The Mandalorian.
Thank gosh. Is it the next one? Is she directing the very next episode?
I have absolutely no idea. I just know that on IMDb it did say that she was directing 2. But she is going to be directing all 6 episodes of Kenobi, the TV series.
You know what? After last night, I am totally in for that.
Yeah.
I don't even need any of her other filmography background. Last night's episode was strong enough. You know what? If any director directs an episode of something so intrinsically tied with so much history, background, random lore, and fan passion as Star Wars, as solidly as any of the episodes of Mandalorian so far, I don't have a problem with that director. I really don't think I will. I have faith just on that.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't have been more impressed with last night's episode. I feel like I'm giving away too much of what's going to be in my overall review.
The story, good. The action, good.
That ending.
The ending, good. The beginning, good. The tie into the first 2 episodes, good.
And what I think is so cool, too, about all this is that normally one person directing an entire season of a TV series wouldn't work, even if they're good. But because Kenobi is going to be only 6 episodes, and I think it's
more like a film project.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like a contiguous big movie.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did follow the same format. In the terms of episodes are as long as they need to be.
Right,
they
right.
don't need to have a specific standard for how long each one is.
You know what I suspect we'll see with Kenobi? I think we'll actually see one story arc in terms of almost like a movie, but stretched out to about 2 times the length of a movie, right? It's gonna end up being what? It's 6 episodes long, right?
I believe it's gonna be 6 episodes.
Yeah. So it's gonna be what? Man, that's not even a long movie. If they're 30 minutes each, that's 3 hours. That's just a long movie.
Yeah, so I think one person directing all 6 wouldn't be a bad idea at all.
I don't think it will either.
Yeah.
I think it'll be pretty good, especially since the plot will probably go first 2 episodes of building or the rising action, second 2 are the big peak and the falling action for the last 2. It's gonna follow the traditional film story arc. And it's not restricted by time. So, those thirds don't need to be exact thirds. They can be, 30, 40, 30, 20, 30, 35. It's cool to have that leeway.
Yeah, I'm definitely really excited to see where they go with all this. So, yeah, I think her directing it is going to end up being great. I look forward to the Obi-Wan series. Mandalorian has been awesome so far.
Every episode. Still... to this moment, somehow, always one-upping my expectations for it.
I fully agree.
I actually expected by episode 3 for me to have seen a significant dip in quality, even if it was still really good. There hasn't been a dip in quality, which is ridiculous to me right now. This is really chock full of a lot of way deep references in terms of Star Wars lore. For you Star Wars lore nerds out there and know what I'm talking about. There is some deep dive stuff in every one of these episodes. And it's ridiculous that they managed to get all directors who are willing to either work with writers who know all that and will help them essentially direct by explaining the universe to them, or that are already so much in love with the universe that they're willing to explore those themselves, or have already explored them themselves. That's really cool.
It is.
It's really cool. And clearly everyone working on it has passion for the product.
And that's the most important part about it, is that the people working on it really care about what they're doing.
Everyone
and that's
seems
great.
they enjoy it so much.
All right, so we now...
so that actually does bring me to a quickie.
Huh.
What are your thoughts on Favreau being offered a Star Wars movie license?
I am more than okay with that. That's amazing.
Right, because there are more and more rumors that that Kathleen Kennedy is looking to make him make him a Star Wars movie director and possibly promote what's his name? Director of the first 2 episodes.
He only directed the first one, Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni. He did direct episode 2?
No, I don't remember who directed. I don't
Directed-
remember who it was that did episode 2, but it was Dave Filoni. He only did the first one, which for his first live action directing thing, I think he did really good.
He did fantastic.
Yeah.
Extraordinary. But I think there are also rumors in the rumor mill about Filoni taking over Star Wars direction, either under or possibly in the future replacing Kathleen Kennedy. I think it's actually going to be under Kathleen Kennedy. Kathleen Kennedy will get a management position essentially, and he'll take what her current role is and do it. But those are in the rumor mill right now. And very much in the rumor mill, with no confirmations that are willing to stake their names on it. I'm kind of really down for both, though.
Honestly, I'm just down for Dave Filoni getting involved in Star Wars movies, because
Right?
he's proven himself already with the show and
I'd
every
really
other
love for
directing
him
he's
to get
taken
his own
in.
movie now. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, movie or saga. I'm cool with it either way.
You want to give him the next 3 episodes starting in what? Like the next Star Wars movie in 2022? Is that what's the rumor?
Yeah, it's like they've released the slate, but yeah, they're going to be like a little
Disney's
more spread
projections.
Yeah. But yeah. So now we move on to the final topic that I think is going to be the most interesting, actually, and that's why I put it as our thumbnail. If I can bring that up real quick. Oh wait, no, we have one more topic before we move to our most interesting topic.
Do it.
One that I wouldn't think would be that controversial until like I started looking into this, and now I'm kind of like, oh, yeah, this is a bit of a douchey move. So, SpongeBob, Nickelodeon is trying to expand SpongeBob into a cinematic universe, which sounds weird, I know. And it shouldn't be controversial. It should just be like, whatever. It should just be like, whatever. It's like, Nickelodeon trying to milk the franchise more than they already have. Until like I started reading into it.
Franchises. Nickelodeon can't be trusted with them.
Till I read into it a little more, and what I think is a bit immoral about this, to my opinion, and I want to get your thoughts after this.
What is this? Hit me with it.
So it turns out the original creator of SpongeBob has made it very clear that he's never wanted to have anything to do with like spin-offs or like crossovers. He's wanted SpongeBob to do like his own standalone show for so long. And now
I feel like I heard this with the live action movie stuff.
Yeah.
Around those times, I feel like we heard his comments about this.
We probably have. And I'll say this. It's very common, yes, for like when you create a project, you have one direction for it to go in. More than likely,
get dictated to go in a different direction.
Yeah, that stuff happens. That's how business works. That's how it goes.
The Last Airbender live action movie.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure the creators of the Avatar: The Last Airbender never intended it to be that crappy movie, but you know what, it did, because that's just what happens. Now, what makes this kind of more upsetting than other situations specifically is that for when they first announced Camp Coral, which is going to be the first spin-off show, and it's supposed to be...
Are there multiple planned?
Supposedly.
Oh, gosh. I didn't hear about that. I heard about Camp Coral. I did not hear that there were plans for more.
They're supposedly working on a couple others, but with Camp Coral, what's really... what's really disheartening about when they announced this one specifically is that this was announced, I think, 4 months ago, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, the original creator of SpongeBob hasn't even been dead for a year yet, right? Because he's only recently passed away. Yeah. So it just seems...
well, maybe it's been a year. I feel like it was probably sometime in 2018.
But with how fast it seems that they're already moving forward with not only this, but then the rumors that with Nickelodeon teaming up with Netflix, that they're working on Squidward spin-off show as well. It's like, it's kind of disheartening that they're just like, it feels like to me, there's a vibe of them like planning this ahead, like, having it all ready and being like, okay, so as soon as he dies, we're then going to move forward with these spin-off shows.
To be fair, that's probably exactly accurate.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's probably right.
Yeah, which is...
that these are plans that were always there, and that when the license essentially got freed up from complication, that they'd go forward with the plans.
This is a direct quote from Paul Tibbett, who was another showrunner on SpongeBob for a little while. This is a tweet from him. Where he says, "I don't mean any disrespect to my colleagues who are working on the show. They are good people and talented artists, but this is some greedy, lazy executing right here, and they all know full well Steve would have hated this. Shame on all of them." So yeah, like my whole thing, my whole thought on this though is that projects, you end up not always having the creative control that you want as a creator, and that's just how it is. So I wouldn't be anywhere near as mad about this if he was still alive and Nickelodeon decided to go on with these spin-off shows against his wishes. To me, it just seems like a whole new level of disrespect when you're doing this after he had passed away, and then this is like something you're moving forward to right away. Like, to me, that's just like a whole new low for even Nickelodeon.
And
Yeah.
I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it actually, because I know that with the SpongeBob movie coming out, like one of the things it's supposed to be doing is setting up for the spin-off show because they have flashbacks of Camp Coral with SpongeBob.
Ew.
So it's like, it actually, now knowing this makes me not want to go see the movie. Just
I
because
already didn't want to go see the movie.
I kind of did, because weirdly enough, judge me all you want, I kind of like the other two the other two SpongeBob movies, which I guess had live action elements in it. So
I
live action
liked 1.5 of them, I think.
But no, I kind of liked. I mean, I'll say this.
I think
with
it was the second one I liked.
With the second one, I didn't like the live action parts of the movie.
No, the live action part was terrible.
But I did love the first half of it. I thought it was.
Which is the one with the dolphin, the laser dolphin?
That was the second one.
That was the second one. Yeah, I like that one had some cute jokes.
Yeah, exactly.
It had like 3 jokes that actually made me chuckle, and then the rest was like kind of cringy. But
I mean, yeah, towards the end they got kind of cringy, but I felt like the beginning, even the cringier jokes were like still delivered with so much energy that I couldn't help but really enjoy it. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah,
it does.
So I kind of liked it, and the trailer didn't have me that hyped for this new one, except for a couple funny moments like Keanu Reeves as a sage. That was
god,
dumb,
I actually saw this,
but made me chuckle.
Man, where did I see this out of? Maybe it was just during the trailers for Frozen 2 or something. But I swear I saw
it might have been
the Keanu Reeves as
a sage,
the bundle of sage,
who's
the
also
sage
a sage.
Yeah. That looks so bad.
Yeah, and so I was going to see it, but it's more like knowing that this is setting up something that the creator was fully against.
Exist.
And the fact that they're doing it after he passed away is like the level of disrespect it's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
All right.
Companies do what companies do.
They do indeed. But with all that being said, speaking of companies doing what companies are doing.
Yeah.
This Black Adam movie, dude.
Hey, that's racist. It's African American Adam.
Well, I mean, if we want to get technical, if it's a rock, it'd be like
Pacific
Islander African American Adam.
There we go. There we go. Gotta be real PC about that, you know.
But it's been in the works for so long at this point. I think, like, literally, The Rock's been casted as Black Adam longer than Henry Cavill as Superman, longer than Ben Affleck with Batman. Or I guess technically he was originally meant to be Captain Marvel, but then they thought he would look cooler as Black Adam, so they changed it. Which is a shame,
because I still think he would have made the best.
I fully agree.
I refuse to call him Shazam, Captain Marvel.
I fully agree. He would have been amazing as Captain Marvel.
We've seen him act like a kid.
Exactly.
Already
in Jumanji,
really well.
He did it really well.
Jumanji acts like a fucking dweeb teenager really well.
And he does a great job of it. So it's like, he without a doubt, to my opinion, could have made a real good Captain Marvel.
I think it would have been the perfect Captain Marvel.
But no disrespect to Zachary Levi. He was great too.
How cool would it have been to cast a classically super white bread white character as like a white kid who like transformed into like an Islander black guy. Like that would be so cool. That could have its own jokes and thematic exploration on its own. That could have been really cool.
Or they could have just casted a black kid as him. You know, there's no reason, I don't think, they couldn't have changed his ethnicity.
They could have. Yeah.
So like either way. But it looks like
then they would have run into the black orphan that no one loved and who had the shitty mom names.
Okay.
And that would have looked bad.
Okay, I can see your point there.
So they'd probably keep Billy Baxton, also the whitest name of all time, as a white kid.
That's actually fair. I didn't think of that. But yeah, so this movie's been in like development hell for so long, and it seemed like only now, because like people were like wondering on Twitter, like, is this actually happening?
So guys, when is this gonna
and Dwayne Johnson's like, oh yeah, it'll probably happen by this time, and then Warner Brothers is probably like, oh crap, Dwayne Johnson says it's happening, so we got to make this happen now. So it's finally got a release date,
which is good because honestly, we should have heard more about it or gone more of a tease for it after the success of Shazam.
It would have been cool if that was like a teaser we got at the after credits. But yeah, so now we finally got confirmation that's coming out. I believe it was 2021. But we've also gotten confirmation that there are going to be a few extra characters that might be setting up a few things. So
I'm sensing Amazing Spider-Man 2 vibes.
Maybe. I don't think it'll be that bad.
Characters
but
being introduced for the first time, and
I think if anything, it might be more of a Deadpool 2 vibe. Because they've now confirmed, or not, I think confirmed, I could be wrong, I should double check the article, but basically Dr. Fate, Stargirl, Isis, and Hawkman are all going to be in the film, and then we've also got an interview.
Are they all going to be, like, the heroes who are trying to defeat Black Adam?
Doubtful, because...
Are they teaming, or is Black Adam a pseudo-good guy in this world,
I think I want to say pseudo good guy, but I could be wrong.
So if he's a pseudo good guy, why is he on the most overpowered team of all time then?
Well, okay.
Just Dr. Fate plus Black Adam is already so powerful they could like absolutely destroy any Superman. Like,
well, I think he's going to be just kind of setting him up, similar to how Deadpool 2 set up the X-Force, but, like,
deleted the X-Force before the halfway point?
I think it'll be like that, except for they won't be killed off. I think they'll just be kind of set aside without
How
being
do you
killed
set
off.
Dr. Fate aside? Dr. Fate is the most, like, presence-demanding character I know of.
He does have
He's two characters in one, first of all.
He does
Maybe
have
three,
like
depending on interpretation.
He does have like the weakness of if you take off his helmet, he's kind of gone. So maybe someone takes off his helmet, they don't want to use it unless it's an emergency.
Except for when you take off the helmet, then the helmet's its own character. So
no, the helmet's just a helmet. Yeah, I mean, it might have changed
Who takes
recently.
off the Dr. Fate helmet doesn't put it on.
But, yeah, anyways, like, I'm thinking that maybe when they said Dr. Fate 2, we may not actually see a physical Dr. Fate. It might be just a helmet and then the guy who wore the helmet. But we're not going to see a combination of the two, per se. But Dwayne Johnson also in an interview with Kevin Hart when they were talking about the upcoming Jumanji movie, someone was asking him...
that actually comes out in like 2 weeks, doesn't it?
I think so. I'm not sure.
That's like ridiculous. That snuck up on me. I didn't remember that was going to come out. I don't remember ads for it the same way I do Jumanji 1 ads.
I definitely only remember one trailer for it. I don't know if there were more than one trailers, but
honestly, I don't even know if I remember that trailer or if I just saw it for the first time when I saw Frozen 2.
That's possible. But basically in this interview, he was asked, "So are you going to have a sidekick in this? Because every superhero needs a sidekick." And basically it was Kevin Hart, kind of interrupting the interviewer saying, "Oh yeah, man, I'm definitely going to be in this movie. I'm going to be Black Adam's sidekick. I mean, what sidekick does Black Adam have, basically?" And so it kind of goes on, and then it's weird. It's like for the first time, it was almost like with how much like the two guys were talking back and forth, Kevin Hart and whoever was interviewing him. It was like one of the few times I've seen like Dwayne Johnson have like a frustrating look on his face because he kind of just interrupts them both and he just goes, "The JSA are actually being introduced in this movie." So it's now possible that those aren't the only JSA members we get. We might actually get like others, like Jay Garrick and then Alan Scott, and I don't know.
We could, or they can Deadpool it and only have these members, and then have a comment about how they're the only members of the JSA that showed up.
Yeah, that too. But either way, though, it's kind of exciting for me. Even I really hope this movie tries to be a good movie first and not tries to just exist to set up the JSA. But at the same time, I am really looking forward to seeing the JSA.
Do we have who's the director for this?
That is a good question.
Because I'd base entirely my opinion on whether I think it's going to be a corporate shill or if it's going to be a passion project based on who the director is that they got. Because that kind of makes the big difference.
It does most of the time.
You can tell when they're doing it to do it because they'll get one of those by the books or like really common fits the trope directors.
Finding out now.
That being said, my personal take is also that Black Adam's going to be like an anti-hero. He's going to be antagonized by the JSA. But he's going to be trying to do something heroic, and then in the end they'll probably help him. It'll probably be something like he's trying to save his planet or his people, and in order to do so he has to make a safe space on Earth, and the JSA comes and we've got a bad experience with aliens coming and wanting to settle Earth, so nope, fuck off. and then fight ensues, and he gets casted as villain.
It's
maybe even tragic loss of his people or something.
I actually don't think I've seen any of his movies, including it. He did 2 Liam Neeson movies though, Unknown and Nonstop. He also is doing the upcoming Disney movie.
Both of those.
He's actually working on a movie with Dwayne Johnson because he's doing Jungle Cruise. So he'll have experience working with Dwayne as a actor. But this is his name. I'm not sure how that's pronounced.
Wom.
Okay.
That's my best guess. Wom Colette.
Sarah.
Yeah.
Wom Colette. Sarah. Yeah. Either way. Yeah. So
Wom
he's gonna
Koye
be.
Sarah.
But either way, he's gonna be the one that's gonna be directing the movie. But yeah, like
I have a suspicion that's not a passion project choice.
possibly not.
Or maybe it is, and he really wanted to work on this project, and he's just an unknown. I don't know though. I remember those Liam Neeson movies ish. I remember they were both okay.
Ish.
No, I think they're solid okay.
Oh, okay.
Just solid okay.
I don't think I saw either of them, honestly.
I think I remember Nonstop a little bit more positively than Unknown.
Okay. But
in fact, I don't really remember Unknown. I'm trying to think. I know I've seen it. It's on the Vudu even. Like, it's on our account. I just don't remember it much, which is probably a bad mark, but I feel like my opinion was it was okay.
But we do know that this is going to be an origin story, so most of the movie will be in ancient Egypt, which would be
that is
before
why
the JSA.
I think they're going to have like the I'm trying to save my people thing. That's why I think he's going to be a hero, but also the villain. That he's going to be antagonized by the JSA. Because I think the plot will probably be he's trying to save what remains of his people or culture by bringing it to modern day, probably America, since JSA.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Justice League, it's the JSA, which is even more local than the Justice League of America already was. Yeah.
And then what I think is going to happen is that more than likely, at some point before the ending of the movie, we're going to have Zari or Isis, whichever you want to call her.
Yeah.
Since we've called her Isis, though, I think any hope we had of monetizing this video went out the door. Not that we were planning on monetizing it anyways. But either way, I feel like she's probably going to be the one who turns against the JSA and helps out Black Adam at the end, because she probably sees his point of view. That'd be my assumption, because I think in the comic books, if I'm not mistaken, they're married, right?
Yes, maybe. I don't know anymore. I thought they were, but I don't know now, because the current Black Adam has like a solo thing. I don't know.
Okay.
Some version of them was.
Yeah. Okay. So they were at one point married. So yeah. So that's what makes me think that
pretty sure they had like kids.
Oh. I didn't know that.
I think Black Adam has a baby somewhere. I don't know. I'm gonna go with that. I think Black Adam had a kid at some point. I don't know. Maybe not with Isis though. Maybe that was a different way.
It's possible.
I don't even know.
I don't even know. But that's
I like Black Adam, but like it's one of those characters that's been rebooted so many times and is completely inconsistent between reboots. So I just it gets lost with me.
I mean, but either way, I'm definitely looking forward to the movie. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I am looking forward to seeing it. I do like that. It's funny, because the way I thought they would have tried to do it, knowing, like, you know, it being DC and then them wanting to go with more familiar characters, I would have thought that his introduction was going to be in Shazam, but he was going to be as the main villain.
We,
so I
did kind of see him in Shazam.
Kind of, for like a very brief moment. Yeah. And like it's one of those, if you didn't know who they were talking about, you never would have guessed that's who they were talking about type of things.
Although, that being said, it was the same thing for the Caterpillar too. Man, I remember
that was funny as hell.
When I was in the movie, I immediately turned. Man, was I with you guys? No, I was with my family. I think, right?
I definitely wasn't with you watching.
And I turned on. I'm like, oh my god, And everyone except for my dad was like, who? What? And then my dad was like, just smiling because he'd already seen it too.
Yeah.
So he knew what was coming.
But yeah, I do look forward to this movie, and I'm glad they're giving him his origin before making him like a full-on antagonist.
Before he gets recruited by a talking caterpillar.
Yeah, because I have no doubt that sometime in the future we're probably going to see like either a Black Adam versus Shazam type of thing, or Black Adam versus
Superman.
Or maybe like both of them team up to fight Black Adam. Who knows?
Or they all fight each other.
Yeah. Well, what I think would happen is that
no,
if Black Adam was fighting Superman, he could like, because Black Adam uses magic, Superman would have like no chance against him. So
people say this, but this just isn't true. Just because Black Adam and Captain Marvel use magic
not
doesn't
necessarily
mean
no chance, but it does mean that
like he's not especially weak to magic. He's as weak to magic as people are. Which means that your magic still has to have extra punch to hurt him. Just it can hurt him.
Yeah.
He's not immune to it.
So what I'm saying is that so let me reword that. Superman may not see that coming, and therefore would not expect like a lightning bolt to hurt him that much, so he'd block it the same way he would normally block a lightning bolt, but then be like, oh god, that actually hurt a lot.
And Black Adam's transformation is probably a lot less dramatic than Billy Baxton's, so he probably can just hold Superman and keep Shazamming.
So it might be like, even Superman can't defeat Black Adam, so then I know it's Captain Marvel, but in the movies they do call him Shazam at this point.
I hate this.
Yeah.
They got away with it for the first movie only because the actual thematic end narrative through line is Shazam the Wizard giving his passing on his abilities to not just Captain Marvel, but the whole Captain Marvel family, which makes more sense to name it Shazam then, because guess what empowers them all? Shazam. But if they ever make another Captain Marvel movie specifically, it needs to be called Captain Marvel, else I'm gonna be miffed.
They're probably gonna call it Captain Marvel, but they'll continue not giving him a name like they did in the first one until like maybe at some point someone might have like a one-liner where they go, how about Captain Marvelous, or just Captain Marvel, and then he'll be like, oh, it's taken. No, I'm pretty sure we came up with the name first. No, we didn't. Even though DC did.
Who would it be taken by in their world?
Well, Marvel movies exist in the DC universe.
Do they?
Pretty sure. They exist on the CW shows.
Yeah, but the CW shows are a unique little monster.
And yeah, so I don't know, it's just hard to say. There was actually a joke I had for the character Connor Hawke, who, much like Arrow, he's an archer, right? Although he hasn't been an archer in this, but when we first are introduced to him in Legends of Tomorrow, he's an archer. But still, my thought is, his last name is Hawk, and he has a sharp eye. Do you think we could have, like, Cisco being like, what if we called you Hawk? Oh, wait, no, that's taken. Because they tend to do those, Marvel jokes a lot on the CW shows. So it would depend. I'd kind of hope that they'd be willing to make that Marvel joke, like, in the DC movies, but I'm not sure.
Well, they might be closer to being able to make that joke now, I guess. You heard James Gunn's comments about that, right?
Oh, yeah, recently.
About how, Marvel versus DC could totally happen.
Yeah, it definitely could. Like, I fully agree. I don't think it will anytime soon, but I definitely agree it could.
I think it'll happen, my prediction is probably 2024.
I think that if they do it, the best way they could make a Marvel versus DC movie would be in the form of a Lego movie.
I would hate that so much.
I wouldn't. I think it'd be funny, because then you could actually
I thought that would be cute before, but I'm not down for that anymore. One, because Lego Batman is such a leg up, and with how lame they treated the rest of the DC characters in Lego 2, I just don't care anymore.
Well, you just have to get a better director to use them, to utilize the rest of the DC characters. Yeah, I think they could if they had a better director with them, and then of course they probably make the joke where Star-Lord takes off his mask and it's Emmett. I feel like that joke would definitely be coming.
I mean, it'd be Emmett with beard on.
Yeah, Emmett, did you just draw a beard on yourself? Yeah. But I think that basically wraps everything up for this podcast. We have like a lot of topics, but I guess they were all like kind of short topics. But
True that.
So
do you want to just blow the Mando's dick a little bit?
Later tonight, yes, because I do want to do a full-on review.
Right.
If you want to join me for that later tonight,
I'd love to. What time do you plan doing it?
Sometime later in the afternoon. I have a few videos I got to edit.
I won't be able to.
Okay.
I do work starting at 12. So.
Okay, never mind then. Okay, but yeah, I will have a video review up. If not tonight, then definitely by tomorrow. But that'll be fun.
So good.
So far, it's really good. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about episode 3 later. In the meantime, though, thank you guys for watching. This has been kind of a disorganized podcast. This is our first time recording live on OBS. We'll hopefully get better at this over time. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching, and yeah, be sure to like and subscribe.
Goodbye.